The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set. Hey, welcome back. Another high episode of the Golden Boot. It's your boy Pooh Bear. I got my man Aunt Petty Murphy in the building. What's good with you, my boy?
What's up with it, dog?
Hey, just want to say to all everybody watching, thank y'all for being here tonight. Thank you for tuning in. We apologize for not having shows last week, but there's a lot of stuff going on. Your boy was getting older, you know what I'm saying, traveling, you know what I'm saying, going to the first game. The other one was working, calling games. Hey, by the way, man, I tune in and listen. I know you don't never ask me to. Every time I know you on the radio or you do something, man, I try to tune in and listen and stuff. I don't know if the algorithm's gonna pick it up, but they be like, "Oh, you got somebody from Alabama listening. They must be doing something good over there." But nah, man. Hey, I enjoy listening to you, man. You did a great job. I just want to tell you that, man. You did a great job. You said you did all right. Nah, you did a great job. I was listening. I was intent. I felt like I was at the game. I was like, oh, okay. That boy having the game over there. Okay, all right. I was listening. I forgot which game it was. Somebody they couldn't stop scoring. And I was like, and then when they finally punted, I was like, well, for the first time tonight, they punted. I was like, that boy, yeah.
It was a couple lopsided games, but it was fun though, man. I enjoyed my debut as a color commentary guy. And hopefully that won't be the last you'll hear of me on the radio on some games. So
yeah. Do they call it color? Never mind. I ain't gonna go there. I'm gonna leave y'all alone today. We'll start acting up. There go my niece. This ain't the birthday niece, but this the niece though. Hey, how you doing? She said, "Hey fam, I'm back again. The queen is here." The queen need her rest because she got school tomorrow too. I'm gonna say it before your daddy do, because he gonna be mean. He gonna be mean when he said, "Love you, baby." Happy birthday to the or belated birthday to my sister-in-law and my other niece.
Weekend, bro. Rough weekend.
Bro, I already know. I feel your pockets. I feel for them. Man.
Fun though, man.
I've been wanting to talk because we talked, but I hadn't been able to talk to you about the experience. I just want to say we are spoiled as LSU fans when it comes to tailgating. Went to Houston. First off, I was rushing everybody, all my kids, I was rushing them like, we gotta go. They're gonna block these streets. We ain't gonna be able to get through. It was an hour and a half before. So they do the Cougar Walk. The Cougar Walk is at 3:40. Bro, we got there about 2:30, and I was like, we finna miss it. We ain't gonna be able to get there. Guess what? I drove straight to my parking spot.
Dang.
No problem. Hey, now it was some streets blocked off and stuff, but no problem. I'm looking, I'm seeing people out. It's like, okay, it's kind of scattered about. Where they do the Cougar Walk, they had Red Bull. They're giving out free Red Bulls. Had Prime on the other end giving out Prime. And then for the tailgate, this is what I was like, all right, we're going to have to give them a tutorial. They had all the non-D9 frats. You know what I'm saying? All the Sigma Chi guys and the Lambda Mu people. You know what I'm talking about. You know, I don't know all they frats, but you know what I'm saying? So they had all those frats, but they were all tent next to each other. And all of them had a DJ, and all of them were playing different music. So it was just loud for no reason.
Yeah.
So I went in the porta potty. The porta potty seemed to sit on, I guess, it wasn't all the way level because I turned around in it and it shook. Now, I'm talking about it shook so bad, I thought somebody, you know what I'm saying, had hit the thing. I opened the door. Hey. Oh, ain't nobody even around. That's my bad. I was like, I'm going to have to give y'all a tutorial on how to do this tailgate thing. It ain't the same. It just ain't the same.
I've experienced a couple of schools tailgates, and ain't no place like Baton Rouge, dog.
The only other thing that I would say would compete would be if you go to a HBCU game. That would be the only thing that could compete, and it's not necessarily. It's still that's still on a little bit smaller scale because homecoming you can't beat that.
It ain't the same magnitude. It ain't like LSU as far as tailgating is like like 3 or 4 HBCUs together. You know what I'm saying? Like talking about 100,000 people, 150,000 if you include everybody tailgating. You know what I mean? Like just the magnitude of people at LSU just takes the cake.
Yeah, exactly. But overall, it was a good experience, man. Got to see a lot of people. Christian Braithwaite, former LSU Tiger, got to see his family, meet his family, talk with them. Good people, man. Ironically, we'll walk around with our number 16 jerseys. Braithwaite is number 16, so his mama was kind of mad when she first seen us because you know she was trying to figure out who got her baby number on. But nah, that's our baby. You know, two different babies. I'm just saying they twins though. Twins. The game itself, we'll get there. We'll get there. But man, week 1 as a whole, I didn't even get to watch as many games as I wanted to. But I do know it was a nice slate of games. I was too nice to Florida State in my preseason top 10. I was way too nice. Way too nice. I don't even think they should be in the bottom 10 right now, the way they're playing. You can say it.
I hate to be that guy, but
you can say it.
Tried to told you, man.
Yeah.
I
did find myself cheering for Boston College though.
Well, I told you once I seen what Georgia Tech did, I knew they was losing to Boston College. Because Boston College had a better running quarterback than Haynes King. And if Haynes King was able to control the ball and Georgia Tech was able to run the ball like that, I knew Boston College would do the same thing.
Right. But we got a lot to talk about. You ready to just go ahead and get into this?
Yeah, let's do it.
No diddy. We'll get we'll get that. But first, y'all know what we gotta do. We gotta give a shout out to our sponsors over at BetOnline. BetOnline.ag. We'll be back in 1 minute. BetOnline.ag is your number one source for all your sports information, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds, lines, and player injury reports for this year's NBA and NHL playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters. This season, we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. We have everything from NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL to golf, tennis, UFC, and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games that you can play right from your home. Head on over to betonline.ag today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use the promo code BLEAV to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts. Hey, we are back. Hey, did it glitch on you for you too?
Did what glitch?
The Bet Online ad. Did it like feel like it paused or something?
No, not to me.
Okay, well, it might just be me. But man, we back. Let's talk, man. Let's talk real quick about this opening game, LSU versus USC. Both of us kind of felt like LSU was gonna win this game. I felt like they was gonna win. I felt like we should have won that convincingly, honestly. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I saw everything I need to see that say we could have won convincingly. But we'll get there. Hold on. Before we do, I do want to say this. Want to thank everybody. I know I said we say it all the time. Thank you for watching. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. We appreciate that. And we are like 40 something people away from hitting 1K subscribers. So if y'all are enjoying, please do us a favor. Like, subscribe, share. Really helps the algorithm, really helps us grow. But back to the game. Your initial thoughts on the game.
I mean, I liked what I saw for the most part. I think the defense made strides. The D line, who everybody was worried about, looked like one of the strongest units on the team. Savion Jones and those guys got good pressure, and they kind of, I ain't gonna say they threw Miller Moss off his game, but they you know they made him feel them as far as the pressure that they were putting on him. And then they pretty much shut down USC's run game. So the D line I was impressed with, but I didn't like the offensive play calling in the second half. I felt like they got conservative, and they started kind of playing to not lose instead of playing to win. I feel like they took they foot off the gas a little bit, and you saw that on a couple drives where they had a chance to extend the lead, but they ended up having to punt both times. So other than the offensive play calling and then some stupid penalties by upperclassmen at the inopportune time, that led to points or possibly took away points, I felt like that kind of cost you the game. And I didn't really appreciate Brian Kelly taking all 3 timeouts home with him in the second half. Like, at no point during that last drive did he try to call timeout, regroup his defense, give him a pep talk, try to change anything, or even just try to keep some time on the clock in case they did score, that you would be able to go down and answer. So I just feel like there was some questionable coaching decisions, both play calling and timeout management, clock management, whatever you want to call it. But I'm not gonna say the season over. I think they still got the whole season in front of them for the most part, but they're gonna have to correct a few little things and maybe tweak the lineup a little bit here and there. But overall, a lot more positives than negatives. You muted.
What's going on, my niece? Hope you're doing well. What's good, Tyler? So watching the game, I had a lot of positivity. Looking at what the defense did, I also felt the same way about the offense as far as I felt like we were able to do, move the ball. We still have a problem getting the ball in the end zone. We still have a points problem. Last year, and I said this in Spaces, they're gonna end up doing a 30 for 30 on Jaden Daniels, and look at how many issues and stuff he covered up when it comes to this LSU team or the team last year. This year you don't have that. You don't have that guy that can bail you out with his feet. You don't have that guy that has the experience to where it's not much you can throw at him where he knows, hey, my guy should be here. Let me throw it there. So you don't have that. You have somebody who I think is equipped to make big plays with his arm. You've got somebody who I feel can make good decisions. The problem is now I feel like he's handicapped. His hand is tied behind his back to a certain extent. One of the biggest attributes that people have always raved about Garrett Nussmeier is his big arm, being able to throw the ball downfield. I think he threw it downfield, 3 times?
Yeah.
The entire game. When I say downfield, 20 plus. I think he threw it 3 times. I think he threw it 10 to 15? I'm sorry, 15 plus 3 times, 10 to 15 yards or 10 to 20 yards, however it breaks down. I think he only did that like 4 or 5 times. I get the sentiment of trying to, rein him in and make sure he makes the best decisions. But I also don't think you're doing yourself any favors when you do get conservative and you don't throw any deep balls. When you kind of limit yourself. We got to a point, LSU, one of the things I said that I wanted to see was to get 100 yards rushing. We got 100 yards rushing. But the way we did it was so ugly. We finally, committed to the run. John Emery came in, gave you a spark. We finally committed to the run. And then we went back to passing and just killed. We stopped. We got a 3 and out. Well, we begged the defense for last year. We got a 3 and out. Get the ball back and use 12 seconds off the clock. That was it. And give Lincoln Riley and his offense the ball back to take the lead. And sure enough, that's exactly what they did.
Yeah. And I get that they kind of concerned about Nuss's turnovers, especially after what they saw on count. And I agree with you to a certain extent that they kind of handicapping him. But I also feel like they thought that they wouldn't have to do as much as far as taking shots downfield because they could rely on that run game. You know what I mean? To where they could kind of just dink and dunk and then let the running game kind of be what they really hung their hat on. But since they didn't necessarily get the results they wanted in the running game, I think that kind of threw off what they were trying to do offensively. But I think that we got to get to the point to where because BK mentioned in his press conference that, Nussmeier needs to run the ball more and, pull it sometimes. And he talked to Sloan about making sure Kyron Lacey stay involved in the game and, and all these type of different things. But I'm at the point of when do we stop talking about it after the fact and start doing something about it during the situation? You know what I mean? Like, when do you pull, your coaches to the side during the game or call them up on the headset during the game and say, hey, get Kyron the ball, you know what I mean? Or, tell Nuss to pull it, whatever the case may be. Like, stop waiting to after the fact and start doing the revisionist history stuff, bro. Like, that don't help you win ball games. If you make adjustments during the game, you might win the game.
Yeah. I watched it was Jay Sean's junior year. Everybody knew when he was going to get the ball. First half, he would go off. He gets however many touches, score a touchdown or whatever. Second half, they would triple and double team him. And so especially when they would line up in a formation or whatever. Rev came to a game. He was like, they've got to be able to, he said, they've got to find Rev said they've got to find a way to either use him as a decoy or disguise it so when he does get the ball or when he's going to get the ball, it's not so obvious. He came back his senior year. They started lining up the same formations. I said, oh, here we go again. But they started, instead of just going to him, they started going to other people. I tell that story to say this. You could have easily started hitting backside of the backfield. you could have easily lined Kyron up and paired him, put CJ in the slot or put Aaron Anderson in the slot next to him. And then when you run that route with Kyron, all of a sudden this guy starts getting open.
Yeah.
And they did it one time with the Aaron Anderson.
They did that too a couple times with Aaron Anderson. But my thing is they didn't do it enough.
Exactly.
They hit Xavier on the key pass in the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? CJ Daniels had a catch or two, but it's like if they taking away your number one weapon, you can't be scared to call plays for your number 2 and number 3 guy.
Exactly. I don't know if I was just numb to it or I had enough football for the weekend. After it's a lot of teams I was pulling for, didn't fare well. So I don't know if I had got to a point after it happened, the game, I was just like, yeah, I'm done. It's like I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to rewatch the game. I went and played PlayStation. I went to bed. The next day I woke up and actually thought about the game, and there was a lot of positives that I saw. The defense, for instance, and I did a thread on Twitter on the pod page. The defense, they gave you several opportunities to win this game or to put this game away. We talked about third down, getting better on third down. LSU on offense was 5 or 13 or something, 5 or 11, something like that. USC was 3 or 9. They went for it on fourth down and they didn't get that one. So they were 0-4 there. 0-1 there. So realistically, you held them to 3 and 10 on third and fourth downs. That's an improvement, especially against a Lincoln Riley offense. Net rushing yards, because I know that takes into account the sacks and stuff. They only gave up 72 rushing yards. Passing yards, they gave up 370 or something like that, 350, something like that. It's left a lot to be desired there. I get it, and if you want to nitpick and stuff, I get that, and it's fair for criticism. But your defense gave you opportunities. There are some places that they could have improved. Offense, we just talked about them. My biggest area of concern and the place where I think they really let us down is penalties. 10 penalties for 99 yards. So you basically, I think their offense was, total was 475, 450, something like that. You gave up another 100 yards.
Yeah.
So
a couple of them was offensive on Will Campbell and guys like that. So that shouldn't have been.
No, yeah. I ain't saying all the penalties on the defense.
No. But I mean, even the one on Kyron Lacey might as well have helped their offense. You know what I'm saying? So you can. I see what you did though, but I think going into the season, a lot of us had concerns about the defense. How much could they improve? You know what I mean? We felt like there was still question marks on that side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
After game 1, I feel like we might have questions on the other side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like we might have question marks about this offensive line. Are they as good as we thought they were? Can we run the ball consistently? Because, none of us consider USC's defense, and especially that front four, you know what I'm saying, to be among the elite in college football. But you got some of the teams on your schedule that have better defensive lines. If you can't run the ball very well versus USC, how are you going to run the ball against Ole Miss or Alabama? You know what I mean? Like, or Oklahoma. Or Texas A&M. You know what I mean? I feel like that's going to be a concern. And another thing is Joe Sloan. Like, he, for lack of better words, bro, he shit the bed in the second half. Point blank period. And although I know he's had success as an OC at Louisiana Tech, that ain't the same pressure that's being the OC at LSU. You know what I'm saying? When he was at Louisiana Tech, he he had years as the OC. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like his first year, they wasn't just off and running. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
yeah, during his tenure, they had successful offenses. You know what I mean? But how long did it take him to get comfortable calling plays in that system? How long is it going to take him to get comfortable calling plays in this system? You know, it's a lot different whenever you just coming up with passing concepts, or you just coming up with parts of the game plan versus actually being the one who got to make that 3rd and 6 call. So I feel like we need to kind of pump our brakes into, like, Danny's question is like, do we underestimate the lack of experience on the offense overall outside of just the line? I'm not going to say we overestimated it, but I think we might have been trying to lean on that a little too much.
Yeah. I am, talked about the Sloan and how good offensive line. I think the biggest concern there is run blocking. Pass blocking, I think they were. I'm not gonna say immaculate, but they were better than I honestly expect them to be. Nuss had a lot of time to throw, and then they did get pressure, but they were bringing, 5 or 6 guys when when they were, or somebody would slip through or something. It would be like one or two things. For instance, like I think in the on that first drive, that was if I'm not mistaken, DJ Chester. They blitzed straight through the A gap. DJ Chester didn't step in or step out to pick up the guy. The guy came straight through the A gap, and Nuss tried to get rid of it too fast. Run blocking, terrible. I completely agree. Terrible. Will Campbell slow getting around the edge on pull. For a lot of them, we tried to run up the middle so much and it wasn't working. Why didn't we hit the edge? And if your run game is not there, why didn't we start doing little short, quick passes and then get back to the, to the run game?
For the love of God, why didn't we run an RPO with a damn slant from the slot right behind them damn linebackers who kept screaming downhill every time we fucking ran RPO or read option, whatever we was running? Like, if Nuss ain't gonna pull that bitch, you know what I'm saying? Give him an option to throw it behind the linebackers, because they coming downhill every time. You put Xavier, you put Aaron Anderson, you put anybody in the slot right there, that's 10, 12 yards easily. I don't know, bro. I'm not gonna say we asked like Adrian, but I don't feel I don't feel like we ain't far from what I thought we were as a team. What we could be. We just gotta tighten up on some things. I think the bottom line of it is USC may be better than a lot of us thought.
Another thing about that too, bro. I wonder if we're just better in different positions than people thought we would be, and worse in some. So we're the same caliber team. And when I say that, I don't know what initially you thought. Say you thought the team was an 85 overall.
D line better than they thought, but the receivers ain't as good as we thought. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. Adrian said that's what we get for hiring a La Tech OC. But there's no comment. So I do want to ask this, because this actually brings up a good question. Big James, appreciate you for tuning in, Big James. He said Brian Kelly just ain't that dude. So I'm gonna change that and put this in a question for him. Is Brian Kelly just not as good as we thought he would be? Or is it is the jury still out for you?
Or is Brian Kelly exactly who we think he is?
That's fair.
Like, when you say he ain't that dude, you gotta clarify. He ain't that dude for what? You know what I'm saying? Like to win a national championship,
Mhm.
or he ain't that dude to win you 10 games every year. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like we gotta figure out exactly what that standard that you're saying he ain't meeting, what that standard is. Cause he gonna give you 10 wins. Is he gonna get you a national championship? The jury's still out on that one, but I mean, I think he a good to great coach. He just not elite, in my opinion. At least not yet.
Yeah.
Like he might be Mark Richt.
That's fair. That's very fair. That's very fair. That's actually really good. That's a really good comp.
He might get you 10 or 11 every year, but he gonna lose the big one that really count. You know what I mean? Like,
go away.
but at the same time though, like I still feel like he better than probably 95, 97% of the rest of the coaches in the country.
People, if you say somebody is better than him, it's hard to justify it because he's got the wins. Everywhere he's going, he's found a way to win. He won at the lower levels. He won, at mid-May, group of 5 level. He won at, Notre Dame. Since he came FBS, I guess you would call it, he hasn't done enough. And I'm like you, who would you get? Dabo is not going to work at LSU.
No, I wouldn't want Dabo. Dabo ain't no better than Kelly to me. Dabo
would not work.
Dabo is Brian Kelly, who had 2 generational quarterbacks.
I mean, we can say DeBoer, but he's generational. He's honestly, he's the same thing as Brian Kelly right now.
Well, I think that he's DeBoer, I think, is like Lincoln Riley.
Yeah.
Is FSU coach better than he is with 2? No. I wouldn't say Mike Norvell is better than Brian Kelly. No.
Mike Norvell, no. Mike Norvell struggling now. And
That's
shout out to Tony Weaver. He brought this up. Without Jordan Travis as his starting quarterback, Mike Norvell is 2-8. Well, now 2-9.
I mean, you got to give him credit for helping develop Jordan Travis, but I mean,
and I give you credit for developing.
Mike Norvell is Mel Tucker with a good quarterback. I mean, he killed the transfer portal. You know what I'm saying? And he had Jordan Travis.
All right, I see what you did though. Y'all gonna leave me alone about my Mel Tucker take too.
Let me ask you this, because I asked this in Twitter Spaces, because Danny just brought it up. Let's say Brian Kelly coached his whole tenure at LSU, a 10-year contract, and then he retired. After his contract up, he just retired. In those 10 years, he never wins the national championship, but he wins at least 10 games every year. How would you consider his tenure as the LSU head coach? Where would you rank him among like the LSU coaches?
So here's the funny part about it. If he doesn't, and I'm trying to answer your question without asking the question. If he doesn't win a national championship, do we look at him as less successful than Orgeron?
That's the question. That's what I'm saying. Orgeron got natty, but he was also had 500 years.
No, he had a 500 and a well, I guess you could say 2 500 because he didn't coach the bowl game, so that's fair. God, at one point, Orgeron was like on pace to be the winningest coach at LSU too. At one point,
I mean, where you put him
that's
at?
crazy to think about this like this. If he doesn't win, it's one thing to say, hey, we've got sustained wins and stuff. I guess the question is, do you want to be Oregon or do you want to be Clemson? Golly. I don't want to be. I can't be. Yeah.
Because this the thing. I would argue now that it's harder to win. I argue it's harder to win a national championship now than it was.
That's true. That's true.
You know, or for O. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if he get to the playoffs, and let's say he got what 8 more this year and 7 more years. So out of the 8 years that he got left to technically make the playoffs, if he make it 6 of them 8 years, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he make it to the semifinals half of them years. So he make it to 3 semifinals and 1 natty, but he lose the natty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's pretty impressive. I wouldn't put it above Les or Saban, but
yeah,
it's close to what O did, I'd say.
No, that's fair. That's fair. We're gonna see. And Steve said, "Hey, it's only his 3rd year." Oh yeah, I'm not in the panic. So me personally, I think the whole fire Brian Kelly, he's not a fit. I think that's one of the dumbest things that people say. Somebody, when you say fire him and stuff, he's still putting you in positions to win and stuff. He's got to get over the hump. He's got to find a way to get over that hump, but he's still putting you in positions to win. I'm not at the point of saying, fire him or he's not a fit and all this kind of stuff.
Let me ask you this. At what point do we stop saying it's year 3? It was a dumpster fire when all that kind of. At what point do we stop saying it? Because it's year 3 for Lincoln Riley too.
Yeah. It was year 2 for no, it wasn't year 2. It was year 3. Was last year 3 for Norvell?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
But like Lincoln Riley been at USC the same amount of time.
Same time. Mm-hmm.
Brian Kelly has had more success at LSU than Lincoln Riley has had at USC. And yet USC was able to beat Brian Kelly head to head. So I mean, like, USC ain't saying it's only year 3, all this kind of shit. You know what I mean? Like, he got the transfer portal nowadays, so it don't take 4 years to rebuild your roster no more. You know what I mean? Like,
he rebuilt at year 1.
He got the staff that he would need now. You know what I'm saying? Last year was the staff on defense that was the problem. He got a good one out, so you can't blame that. Like, this is make it or break a year for you, dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Moving on, man, as far as all this is concerned, it is the beginning of the year. It was one game. And with the playoffs, the 12-team playoffs, you got more opportunities to make it. It's no longer the, get beat, and it's the end of your season now. Now you've got a lot more chances. So we'll see, man. I'm not. He's been better. He's lost the first game each year he's been at LSU, and they still had chances to be in the playoffs, or at least the first year. Last year, not so much. But hey, but man, today LSU got some terrible news, man. Found out that John Emery Jr., the spark off the bench in Sunday's game, is now out with another torn ACL, this time in the opposite knee.
Yeah, that kid can't. He can't win for losing, man. That dude
man, listen. My thoughts and prayers are with him.
Stupid.
Yeah, he is. My thoughts and prayers are with him. because I can only imagine mentally how that affects you.
Yeah.
You finally get back and then this happens. Yeah. So, man. Anything else on LSU or before we move on?
Nah, man, I'm straight on that for now. I'm good.
Yeah. Let's I guess at this point, let's recap week 1 games. Colorado, they escaped. That was a Colorado State game last year. They had it early this year. Yeah.
Yeah, they escaped. Barely.
Yeah. I did cash on the plus 10.5. I don't know who thought that was a good idea, but easy money. Easy money.
Yeah, pretty. That was pretty.
ULM shocked me.
Who?
ULM.
Yeah, they looked better than I thought they would.
They shocked me. I know we're gonna talk about some of these other teams. Arkansas, with Petrino. I know it was UAPB, D-Lob. No offense, but it was still impressive.
Yep.
Trying to think, what was the other game that was? I said it was like game of the week. I can't even think of who it was. It wasn't that Georgia game. It wasn't Georgia. I knew that. I did. I told. It's funny because I told somebody that I felt like Georgia would blow them out, and some people was like, "Oh, the score went. You know, what I'm saying it wasn't that close." I'm like, okay, but yeah, Vandy was another good one. Shout out to them. Clark Lee doing this thing over at Vandy. I got Chris believing in Vandy now. It was another game. It wasn't a Miami, Florida game. Crap, who was it, bro? Who we had as picks?
To my left, West Virginia, Penn State. We had Miami, Florida. We had Clemson, Georgia. Notre Dame, Texas A&M.
Notre Dame, Texas A&M. That's the one I was thinking about. Notre Dame, Texas A&M was. I thought that was going to be the best game, or arguably one of the best games of the weekend, and it turned out to be one of the best games. Just how close they played and stuff. Thoughts on that game?
I mean, I thought Notre Dame showed a lot. I had some questions about their offensive line. 3 sophomores, 2 freshmen. But they held their own, man. They Notre Dame defense, especially that secondary, is legit. And Texas A&M fought pretty hard though. They gonna be a scrappy team under Elko, man. Their defense look legit. Their running game looks solid, but Connor Wegman ain't it, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. I just felt like it would be defense. The defense will lead the way, especially for Texas A&M. I'm not shocked on that. Offense really struggled. The offense truly struggled, and it's going to be interesting how they go for the rest of the season. Florida State got beat again. They got beat to sleep by Boston College.
I won me some money on that.
Yeah, me too. I did too. Yeah. All right. Let me ask you this. As we moving on, putting week 1 behind us. What are some things? Because LSU plays Nichols this week. I don't expect anybody to, watch this game and be like, "Oh, LSU back." Yeah. Cook said he betting on the upset. What are some things you want to see from LSU in week 2?
Nobody get hurt. There's nothing that they could do against Nichols that'll answer any of my questions. Nothing. Not a single thing. Even if they make some lineup changes that I think they should make, it ain't gonna matter against Nichols. It's gotta matter against teams that really matter. They gotta do it against the Ole Misses and the Alabamas and make those make the lineup changes in those games for me to feel like they're really doing something. There's literally nothing they could do to make me be like, oh, LSU in a good spot.
All right, hold on. Dylan said he got one. Come on, let's hear it.
LSU or Gary Nussmeier having at least over 100 plus passing yards.
Yeah, if he don't get, I mean, yeah, if he get less than, I mean, we got big issues. That's the case. But that's
or at least what's their running back?
Well, we don't know. That's the thing. Running back, because I mean, John Emery's hurt, so all you have is Caden Durham, Jackson, Caleb Jackson, and Josh Williams at this point, and then whatever insert said name
most
walk
likely
on.
Caleb Jackson.
Yes, probably most likely Caleb Jackson. We got to see. I just
so then Caleb Jackson at least getting one rushing touchdown.
That's good.
Kyron should get one pass touchdown.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. So we got that. I think for me, I want to see, but like you said, it's not going to matter against Nichols what we do. I often say I want to see them mix it up as far as like see them. I don't know, mix the play calling up, but it's not gonna matter. I want to see a wide receiver too. I want to see somebody else, you know, saying kind of stuff, but it's not gonna matter.
It's Nichols, bro.
I know, and that's kind of the hard thing about it. I only thing that I like you said, injuries, and I want to see the cut down on penalties and the mental mistakes.
That's fair. That's fair.
So
that's something they could do to make me that I'll give you that penalties.
Yeah. I did one thing I didn't talk about, and I hate to go back. On punt returns, seeing actual punt returns, that was something that I enjoyed on Sunday. That was a positive that I really enjoyed seeing. So, yeah. All right, man. We did picks for week 2. So let's go ahead and get those up. Got it up on the website too. Y'all go check it out at the Golden Boot, not the Gold. I'm sorry, excuse me, at goldenboot.com. Let me throw this in the chat. Go check it out, man. We dropped it today. And we're gonna start trying to put a lot more stuff out there. But here we go, man. These are the picks.
You spelled it wrong.
So what?
You spelled that wrong.
What, week 2 picks? How I spelled it wrong?
Oh, I'm talking about in the chat.
I did spell that wrong. Let's see if I got it right that time. Let's see if yeah, I get these deleted like it was never there. All right, here we go. So bam, the write-ups and the reasons behind these is out, like I said, is on the website. But man, we talked about it. Got number 3 Texas versus number 10 Michigan. Both of us picked Texas here. Next, so we got Arkansas versus number 16 Oklahoma State. You got OK State. I'm taking Arkansas in this one.
I like it.
Next, Next, you got number 17, Kansas State versus Tulane. You taking Kansas State? I'm around with the Green Wave on that one. And then of course, number 14, Tennessee versus 24, North Carolina State. Both of us picked Tennessee. Colorado versus Nebraska. We both picked Nebraska. I was not picking Colorado. There was no way I was picking Colorado. Y'all can call me a Deion hater or what. I truly do respect him. It's in the write-up too, but I respect Deion, but the way he's running that program, it's certain things I think he's building men, but he's not building a good football team. So yeah. But we weren't the only ones who had picks. Dylan had his picks on here. And I'm gonna let him come on and explain. All right, go ahead. So
Most of these are just upsets.
Most of them are upset. So you got number 3 Texas versus number 10 Michigan. You picked Michigan, the defending champs.
Yeah. I only picked them because they were champs last year.
Okay, that's fair.
All right. Arkansas versus number 16 Oklahoma State.
One's ranked, one's not.
Okay. All right. You got number 17 Kansas State versus Tulane. You picked Tulane. Tulane not ranked. Kansas State ranked. So tell me why you picked Tulane.
Jay got an offer.
All right. So you got number 14 Tennessee versus number 24 North Carolina State. You taking North Carolina State. Tell me why.
For an upset.
Okay. And you got Colorado versus Nebraska. You gonna tell the people why you picked Nebraska over Colorado?
Personally, me, I think Colorado's overrated. Travis Hunter, Deion Sanders.
You see, he's on Shiloh.
Yeah.
And Shador. Okay.
Personally, I think they're overrated.
Okay.
All
right. You're gonna have a long career.
Hold on real quick.
All right.
Hold on real
quick. What? Hey, answer, hold on. All right.
The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect.
Just want everybody to know that the views are yours. All right.
Yeah, he said Deion Colorado overrated. I ain't got time for nobody to come at us with that. Make sure they direct that attention to Dylan.
Hey, listen, I just want y'all to know he is 8.
He know more than most of y'all.
He really do. All right, that boy pull up a YouTube video explaining everything. Danny said, he said that boy said with his chest. Personally, they overrated. Yes, he did.
Look, he was talking all quiet. They ranked, they not ranked, and Jay got an offer, and it came to Colorado. Personally,
he said that. All right, good job. Hey, bro. Big James said you sound like an expert pick to me. So okay. All right. Well, all right. Appreciate it. Good job tonight. Get you some rest. You got practice tomorrow. Good night. You got school too. All right. All right. Other games of interest that we don't have on the schedule. I mean, have on our picks.
I was with Dill till he said Travis Hunter was overrated. But
yeah.
Other games, man. Let's see what we got this week, bro.
So I'm the one game I'm interested in is not really a big marquee game. Auburn, California, Auburn. Normally this game wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
But now this is an ACC versus SEC game.
I'm gonna put them out, man. I don't trust Kyle, dog.
So what?
I don't trust Kyle, dog. James asked did he miss our thoughts on Emory. Now we talked about it earlier, but just to catch you up since you wasn't in here, man, that the kids had terrible luck since he's been at LSU with obviously the academic stuff and finally being able to play again, tearing his ACL last year, coming back, being able to play this season, and then goes down after the first game, tears his other ACL. So first of all, I hate it for him and that young man, and just another obstacle that he's having to overcome, in his football journey. Hopefully, it ain't the end of his football journey. I don't know if it'll be a medical red shirt or something like that, but either way, I hope we see him on the football field again. But if you LSU, that's the one position
that you couldn't afford.
You could not afford to lose anybody, man. You down to 3 scholarship running backs right now until the Trey Hollis case is resolved or has some kind of judgment on it. But honestly, man, I don't know where you go if you LSU. You might have to try to move somebody to running back, rely on some of these walk-ons a little bit more. But yeah, honestly, with Emory, man, I think it's just unfortunate that it had to happen to him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. James talked about because James, for those of you don't remember, James it does the Believe in UCLA show. He came on with us. We got to have him back before the UCLA game, so we can talk about how things looking. But he said it sounded like he was heading towards UCLA, but they were snagged with academics. Says UCLA has super high standards though. So yeah.
But other games though, man. Carla mentioned one, Boise State versus Oregon. Hey, if y'all haven't checked them out yet, Boise State's running back might be the best running back in college football. I know about Ollie Gordon. I know, but Ashton Jeanty is the real deal, bro. He had 200 and some yards and 6 touchdowns in that first game, bro. Like, he legit. And the Oregon team, like Carla mentioned, struggled in their first game. They won, but it wasn't as pretty and as you expected it to look for Oregon. So that's one game for me. Another sneaky good game, I think, and don't call me crazy, but Iowa and Iowa State. I think that's gonna be a pretty good matchup, dog. It's like Iowa is like a 2-point favorite, I think, something like that. So they basically much like a pick 'em, you know what I'm saying? Considering home field advantage. Two in-state teams that hate each other. So I think that is that should be a pretty good one. But them really the ones I was looking at. There might be a couple other ones that we ain't got on our App State Clemson.
Oh, App State, okay, App State Clemson. Here's another one that I looked at. But I was like, we got other games. South Carolina and Kentucky. That's one I'm interested.
That's finna be terrible.
I'm looking for it because I want to see South Carolina. I guess saying play up or whatever. See how they kind of respond.
They barely beat Old Dominion.
I know. I'm just.
And then
some teams play down the competition.
Then you got a Kentucky team that held their opponent to like under 200 yards of total offense. The way South Carolina offense looked going up against that Kentucky defense, it's gonna be a long day for the Gamecocks.
Right.
Long day for the Gamecocks. But I don't know what Baylor is this year. I don't know how good they are. I haven't watched them. I know that they do pay players because they was wearing shirts that said we pay players. But they play Utah this week, so that could be a semi-good matchup, possibly.
Yeah,
maybe. But
yeah,
I don't know who does Arizona play this week?
Arizona's Northern Arizona. I'm looking at it. It's not. Yeah, nothing.
Hey, Syracuse. That's gonna be a pretty good one.
Yes, I agree with that one.
Kyle McCord over at Syracuse playing better than he ever did at
At Ohio State.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
BYU SMU.
Now that may be a good game, but I don't know if I care. If I care enough,
I mean, it's Big 12 versus ACC.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting. That is pretty much all the big games. From week 1, South Alabama took on North Texas. All that defense that they had, that top 15 defense, gone. They can't stop nothing. Nothing right now.
Don't surprise me.
Yeah,
that don't surprise me. Carla say South Carolina can't fall off that bad from Spencer Rattler and that ain't all they lost though. They lost Juice Wells. I know he didn't play much last year, but they lost Juice Wells also. But they got talent over there. Like they got what's your boy from Arkansas last year? Robbie
Sanders. Raheem Sanders. Well,
Rocket Sanders or whatever. They got him. They got Nicholas Harbor. I know everybody's saying that clip of that freshman DN got going around. Like they got talent over there in South Carolina, but me personally, I'm not a Shane Beamer guy. Like I don't know what the infatuation was, but I mean his best win in South Carolina has got an asterisk by it.
Which one?
The Tennessee win.
Tennessee and Clemson. You're absolutely right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what has he done? But they got outgained in total yardage by Old Dominion. They only had 114 passing yards against Old Dominion. You can't be one dimensional like that, dog, against a good Kentucky defense like that, dog. That's just not happening, man. And Danny asked earlier in the show, does that South Carolina game become more of a test now? I don't think so. Not if they can't move the ball. Now, if South Carolina can't move the ball on you, then you shouldn't have no issues with them. I think Arkansas is going to be a bigger test than South Carolina.
I agree. Completely agree. For personal reasons, because of last week, I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm looking forward to it. Houston, Oklahoma. It's going to be very interesting. Just because of last week, I want to know if last week was like
a fluke
shock. Yeah, shock. Because it seemed like everybody on offense played. Because offense was not up to par. There are definitely room for improvement, and everybody who played poorly, we've seen play better or know they are capable of better play. But I'm gonna tell you now, I called Nikki. I called cousin Nikki Monday, and I told her that was probably the hardest thing that I've ever had to do as a parent. Like sitting watching your team losing like that or whatever is like it's hard to do because high school, because it's such a small community and stuff, and people there, they may, oh man, we gotta play better, do like this, but nobody's hammering down on any child or any person, any player. College, it's all, you know what I'm saying? They may be that may be their school, but it's just like it feel like everybody got money on the game the way they, and I know you looked at it because Danny asked you about it. 5 years of eligibility now. NCAA looking at giving everybody 5 years of eligibility.
Yeah, I gotta look at that some more. Yeah, I think that's one of
Is that
them
another reaction to the lawsuit or to a lawsuit or some kind of litigation?
possibly.
So what
Um,
go ahead, and I'll tell you kind of what I've gathered from readings.
I think the NCAA is getting too reactionary now.
1000% agree.
Like, I although I understand some of the things they're doing, it seems like they only doing it because they feel like they got to do something. You know what I'm saying? And it's like making a move or changing something just to say it was done is kind of pointless to me. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know what their long game is with this, but
yeah. Carla says, I think pro sports will stop that because it messes up their pipeline. Actually, it doesn't. If you look at it, they already kind of got somewhat of a case study on it. If you look at what we've been going through with now these super seniors from the COVID, you know, we've kind of already seen that. It actually, and it'll be a little bit better because now the life cycle, instead of it being 4 years, is now expected a 5 year. I mean, it's going to take some time, but it's going to be that 5 year stretch or whatever. But you know, now you've got kids that instead of that can come out after 3, 4, or their 5th year. So, and what this sounds like to me. Go ahead.
I think to your point though, I don't think it's gonna affect the pro leagues that much because if anything, it's gonna produce more people who are pro ready. You know what I'm saying? Because they staying for another year of college instead of exhausting their last year of eligibility. Prime example: if Jaden Daniels didn't have another year of eligibility, he wouldn't have went number 2 overall. You know what I'm saying? But because he had that 5th year, albeit for COVID, but because he had that 5th year, he was able to improve his draft stock. So you're gonna have more people like that who could be, if they only had 4 years, would be, or after the 4th year would be a fringe kind of. Maybe he's draftable, maybe he's not. But if he can come play a 5th year, okay, now he's for sure draftable.
Yeah. You talked about reactionary. From the basis of everything I've read so far, this looks like I don't know if this is due to a lawsuit or whatever, but it gives everybody, it prevents people from saying, oh, he got a red shirt, I didn't, or whatever. Now everybody just gets that 5th year regardless of red shirting or not. And
you can still red shirt though.
There you go. So everybody gets 5, you know. Interesting. Very interesting. I am interested to see how it does play out, how things go from there.
The NCAA settlements that came out the other day, well, that were the proposed settlements that came out the other day, about the roster limits and all that kind of stuff. They got a judge, like they got to sign the judge or whatever, and I think she's supposed to hear arguments on that tomorrow. So that could be finalized soon. And that would also have to do with revenue sharing and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Yeah. Speaking of tomorrow, NFL returns tomorrow with the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Kicking off tomorrow. Thoughts?
Honestly, bro, I ain't even looked much into the NFL this year. And I think that's because the college football video game. I've been playing so much this year that, like, good.
She's gonna get in trouble.
Better quit playing with me in front of these people. But I think because I've been playing the college video game so much, I just been kind of more immersed in the college football world. But I don't know. They throw me out because they got a game Friday night too in Brazil or somewhere, which is they just doing too much. I feel like they playing on damn near every day of the week. But I think that's a good first matchup. You know, a rematch of the AFC Championship game. You got star power in the game with Lamar, Mahomes, Kelsey, you know, all those guys. So it's a good way to kick off the season if you're the NFL. I don't know what college game come on tomorrow night, if any. So I don't know what competition they'll have, but they'll still, you know, have more eyeballs on the NFL than any other.
Well, luckily, I've got the schedule up. There's no game tomorrow. There are games on Friday, though.
And Friday, the Eagles play the Jets, I think, in Brazil.
Okay. Yeah, so you got Western Illinois versus Indiana, BYU, SMU. That's that Friday. Then Duke, Northwestern is Friday as well. So and then in the high school, everybody be.
Yeah, high school on Friday. But I think the Eagles play on Packers. The Eagles Packers on Friday.
Gotcha. Which is stupid. That was one that somebody didn't do their homework. Because then that the one where the they told them they can't wear green or something, or people gotta be careful wearing green.
I don't know how that was, but yeah, that's what that was about, that game right there.
This is crazy.
But Brazil is like beefing up security around the stadium and at the stadium and parking lots and the team hotels and all this kind of stuff. So maybe it was some truth to it, but
yeah. Man, WNBA Rookie of the Year debate. I think that case is closed.
It closed after tonight.
Yeah. I know we talked previously. Said that at one point, it looked like it was Angels' award to lose, and that's exactly what happened.
I don't think she lost it. I think
Caitlin just took it.
I think Caitlin took it. The way Caitlin been playing down the end of the stretch. First of all, let me preface by saying I never thought the Angel would win Rookie of the Year. I always, even if I felt like she deserved it, I've always said that Caitlin Clark was going to be the one to win it. And I felt like at one point Angel did deserve it, but I still felt like Caitlin was going to win it. But now I feel like Caitlin deserves it and she's going to win it because the way she's played down the stretch, she's kind of up to play a little bit down the stretch. First thing, her team is in the playoffs for the first time since 2019. As of right now, Angel Reese's team has yet to clinch a playoff berth. If the playoffs started today, they would be in the playoffs, but they haven't clinched the berth yet. Not to mention, I did some digging, right? Because you know, I like to be informed and stuff. I don't like to just have no baseless information. So in a few categories, Caitlin Clark, we're gonna start with PER, player efficiency rating. Right. Caitlin Clark is number 22 in the league. Angel Reese is number 36 in the league. In offensive rating, Caitlin Clark is number 60. Angel Reese is number 67. In offensive win shares, Caitlin Clark is 16. Angel Reese is 44. In defensive win shares, Caitlin Clark is 51. Angel Reese is 15th. In player impact or estimated player impact, Angel Reese is 15th in the league. I mean, Caitlin Clark is 15th in the league. Angel Reese is 26th in the league. So they both historically great rookie seasons, but one of them is edging the other one out just a little bit as far as, you know what I'm saying, having a better season, although they're both historic. Then tonight, Caitlin Clark has become the 5th player in WNBA history to receive to get multiple triple doubles in the season. So if you factor that in on top of the advanced analytics, she kind of got a little bit of an advantage. And in the win-loss record, she got an advantage head-to-head versus Angel Reese. She won 3-1. You know what I'm saying? So I just think it's kind of like the Carmelo LeBron debate. You know what I mean? Any other year, Carmelo would have got it, but he just went up against arguably the greatest rookie ever.
Yeah. Danny asks, question, had Rakia Jackson gotten more playing time early in the season, should she be in the conversation? I'm gonna let you answer, but I'm gonna say this. If Cameron Brink hadn't got hurt, I think she would have had more, you know what I'm saying, input in the conversation. But
Exactly
I'll let
what
you
I
go
was.
ahead.
That's what I was going
Okay.
to say. I think Cameron Brink, the one who would have been in the conversation if everything would have played out differently this season. But to answer her question, yes, if Rakia would have been more of a focal point early in the season, she'd be right up there in the mix. But it wasn't until Brink went down that they kind of started playing through her a little bit more. She didn't have that same type of impact for the whole season that the other two had.
All right.
Speaking
That's
speaking of WNBA, your boy is currently winning his WNBA fantasy league championship right now.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
Last year I finished
hold
third.
on. Let me rephrase that. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Last year I got third place, so I'm trying to redeem myself.
You must weren't paying that much attention. You were
Nah,
distracted.
I was last year. No, I was.
Well,
see, like last year, I went mostly like I played fantasy like a rookie. Like I was like, oh, they let me get this person. You know what I'm saying? I went off names and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like as of right now, I got really now. Really now. You better hope your team don't have the number one pick while you're trying to talk about my aces. But anyway, last year I played as like a rookie. You know
the
what I'm saying?
WNBA
Like,
trash talk. That's funny.
let me get Diana Taurasi. You know what I'm saying? Like I was playing like that. She's terrible at fantasy. You know what I'm saying? But it's like so this year I got a better strategy. So and I didn't get the first overall pick, which helped. Last year I drafted Asia Wilson, and I ain't have nothing but Asia Wilson, pretty much.
Man, that's about it, man. Wrapping up. Got anything else? Oh, I got some news to share with you when we get off of here. But everybody else, go to www.goldenboot.com. Check out our latest picks. We're gonna have to come back and update. We have to work on putting the stats and stuff up there, figure out how we're gonna do that, get all that stuff set up. I'll probably be working on that tomorrow. Also, man, we do have we might have to start, you know what I'm saying, every other week do a playoff prediction. Update the playoff prediction, but we'll see.
That's cool. We need to keep a running total of our predictions too to see how good we did at predicting.
I put it on. I put it on there. We was 3-2, both of us.
Okay.
Yeah, it was both 3-2 because it was we were actually. If
LSU,
we would have been 4-1.
If LSU would have won.
If LSU had won, both of us would have been 4-1. Because I forget it was a game you picked.
I picked State to lose, and you picked.
I picked Penn State to win, and you picked. Yeah. So we split there. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man.
I bought into the hype, man, of West Virginia, dog. That shit pissed me off, bro. I put money on West Virginia plus 7.5 because I was like, oh, Penn State ain't that good. West Virginia, they going to West Virginia. The offensive coordinator Penn State got from Kansas. You better watch out. They looked explosive on offense.
Yeah, that's what we talked about. I'm telling you, looking at the predictions for this week, when I actually broke down like Arkansas, Petrino, I'm finna tell you how efficient it was. They ran 70 plays. They got 70 points.
Mm-hmm. Scored on
they had 600, if I'm not mistaken, 684 total yards.
Scored on 10 straight possessions, dog.
They punted once. 1 punt. the entire
You
game.
can't do that against air, bro.
Looking at that, Tennessee ran 92 offensive plays last week.
Yeah.
And they taking on North Carolina State, who could not stop. They couldn't stop. Yeah, they couldn't stop Western Carolina, bro. I think they might put up 107 plays on. No, just I'm talking, but they real deal might put up some major points.
It's gonna be the Waters kid for North Carolina State. He might get 40 carries just so they could try to keep Nico off the field, bro.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting, man. NFL this week. Coming up. I'm interested just for the betting, just for the betting to be able to bet on them.
What's your NFL hot take for the season? You got one?
I can get one.
I got
NFL
one.
hot take for the season. Buffalo don't make the playoffs.
Ooh. I could see that. I could see that. That's medium hot, I'd say, because it ain't too far fetched. You know what I'm saying? That division is with Jets getting better. You know what I mean? Miami's still good. I can see that. Mine is Bo Nix has the most wins of any rookie quarterback.
Ooh, I'm trying to think who the other. Oh, Jaden. You got Jaden over Jaden and Caleb. And oh man, ooh, and JJ.
JJ hurt.
Oh, okay.
So he ain't playing. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, look at his division, dog. He got two Raiders. He got 2 wins versus the Raiders already. You know what I mean? Like, and then he beat the Chargers once. That's 3. You know what I'm saying? Just in the division. Then they play the NFC South. You know what I mean? So it's like he could damn.
That's 2 wins though.
Yeah, you know, he could damn near sweep them, at least get 2 more. That's 5 just right there. That's 5 and 8 games, or 5 and 11 games, or whatever it is. You see what I'm saying? Then they still got 6 more games. Telling you, they scheduled, bro. And they wasn't a bad team last year. They won like 8-9 games last year.
That's true.
And I think that division got worse since the Chargers, you know what I mean, they got rid of all their weapons. Hell, Lad McConkey might be their number 1 receiver.
I got another one for you. The Kansas City Chiefs is going to be the only team that repeats as division winners.
Wow. So no San Francisco.
That's gonna be the only other one that I could think could possibly. So that's a hot take for you. That's a hot take for you.
Yeah, because I for sure got San Francisco winning that one. The rest of them I could kind of see flip flopping, like the Packers winning the North. You know, I could see that. I could see, you know, Philly winning the East instead of Dallas. You know what I'm saying? I could see all of them. But I don't know, the AFC South, the Texans, I think they pretty much got that one on lock too. But the rest of them I kind of see. That's a pretty hot take. My last hot take, and I'm done. And we can log off after this. After the season, Dak Prescott will be the quarterback for Malik Neighbors. All right, that's it. I'm done.
Ooh. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get the theme music rolling. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. Do us a favor, like, follow, subscribe, share. We almost there. We almost to that 1K. Appreciate y'all for joining us. Like that, we got this show is presented by betonline.ag. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe on Twitter at Golden Boot. On Instagram at Golden Boot.
On YouTube at The Golden Boot Pod. On Facebook at The Golden Boot Pod.
Golden Boot!